Okay. Well, we appreciate everyone for joining. We'll kick this off. A few more people will join. That's awesome. My name's Jonathan, one of the owners of the company. I've got one of my partners here, Asa. Asa
Hello.
is at our factory, as
Oh,
maybe.
I tell by the noise behind me.
Yeah, we don't hear much. It's good. It's
Oh no, that's
canceling out.
great.
No.
I
But
got a number of saws and
there you go.
power tools behind
And
me
that's
here.
a small section of the factory you can see there. I'm on a panel tomorrow at LA Tech Week, so I'm on my way there. So I'm not at a factory. I got a virtual background going on here, but super happy to have everyone attending. Ask questions at any point. The agenda for today is we've got a few slides, a little presentation, a quick introduction to us, kind of what we do, where we come from, for those of you who are maybe not familiar with Clever Tiny Homes and our parent company, Clever Builds. And then we've got a little more in-depth discussion on financing for tiny homes. So we're gonna go into that, which I'm really excited about. It's something I pretty much spend all day talking to folks about. And then we'll, along the way, answer any questions you have. Throw them in the question Q&A. If we don't get to them right away, it's because we're kind of saving it because it'll make more sense to answer level later. And then we'll do a little walk around the factory. Our factory is very heavily lit by the sun, so it's a little bit dark with the the lights there. But I think Asa can do a little walk around there. As you have questions, we've got units. There's what, about 20 units on the production floor right now. They're in various states of production, so we can show things and show you the production stage for technical questions, answer that, and then yeah, really answer any questions that there are out there. Um, and that's the goal of it. So with that, why don't we jump into the presentation here? Um, and uh, and by presentation, again, we like this to be interactive. We like talking about this. The goal here is really just to have some visuals to talk about it. As I mentioned, this is the agenda. Just said this kind of quick company overview, talking about different financing methods for tiny homes, particularly tiny homes on wheels, but we'll talk about other ADU, which we also do, or other larger projects. Quick factory core Q&A. And then ask your questions along the way. So just a little bit about Clever Tiny Homes, or Clever Builds, go by both names now. And what we're all, our mission, our goal is to build the highest quality designer tiny homes for less. So uncompromising quality, and we're looking at how to do that efficiently, as efficiently as possible. And we do that through three core principles. One is spending a lot of time on the product design and the engineering. We do a limited number of models. We don't do custom builds. That's key to our model. And that really allows us to spend our time and energy on trying to perfect what we do, the materials we use, the techniques we use, the process we use, and drive efficiency and quality out of that. As part of that, as I mentioned, a big focus on how we streamline manufacturing and sourcing. We'll show some of that as Asa walks around the factory and can talk about any questions that you have there. And last is we invest in technology and equipment that lowers costs. So our whole factory runs off a custom built software system that we built in-house and that we are constantly working on improving and making better and making more efficient and learning from, collecting more data. We've got a incredible amount of data of how it goes into building these homes, as well as capital equipment. We've got some pretty cool machines at the factory that are very thoughtfully put in place to help us deliver, again, that quality at a good price. So that's what we're doing, and we're very focused on kind of doing one thing and doing it really well. As part of that, we don't have, like a lot of folks do, of like good, better, best quality. We just do best quality. We don't have options for most of our homes. This is what it is. This is what it's included. The price we quote includes all of the quote premium upgrades. It comes standard. Our price also includes free shipping to much of the Western US and very discounted shipping nationwide. So people think often it's going to cost a lot above our list price to ship it. That's not true. We really try to bring everything into our core product and our core price. And there are some things that not everyone wants that we charge more for, like solar. But otherwise, it's all included. So what are some of those features? And then we're going to talk about some of the designs of our home. But this will just kind of help you understand what we um, what we do and we think. Our kitchens, all of our homes, even our small Clever S have large kitchens, and really high quality kitchens because it's a home. You're going to use a kitchen in it. Good kitchens are paramount to having a great quality home. Big quartz countertops, all custom designed cabinetry. You can see pictures. I'm not going to go into details here for the sake of time, but can answer any questions that come up. We do have some technical questions I'm going to answer in just a second. I'm going to actually get to some of these. So thanks for throw the questions in. I'm going to answer these as they come. Here's a picture of our Clever One. Ooh, not sure what that is. Uh-oh. Okay. Well, here's our Canva presentation. Let's try that again. Okay. Here's a picture of our Clever One. Bathrooms are another thing that we're known for. Even our smallest models, we do really large, nice bathrooms with real tile, mold-resistant epoxy grout, large vanities, all the things, even in our smallest units. Most people, if you're living at home, you're going to use a bathroom every day, probably multiple times a day. So we want that to be really nice. It's one of the things that you're living in. So a little bit of our team. I mentioned Ace and I, who are on this call, two of the partners. Our other partner is Dee Dee, who prefers not to be on camera, but is a key part of this. And she used to run a top global architecture firm. Those image renderings you see there are real, both buildings and cities that she has designed. The second one there is the Venetian Casino Macau, which is the largest hotel in the world. So we're bringing into what we do really top level experience, both in manufacturing and construction, as I'll talk about, as well as in design. We're trying to bring that elevated design to tiny homes and to what we do. Our team is 150 people strong and continues to grow. There's some images of the factory. You can see Ace is kind of in a weird location, I think kind of standing like right here-ish
That's right.
um, in it, but it's much bigger than that. There's a little bit of bird's eye view. There's an area back here that you can also see, and that's actually building number one. We have a second building that houses all of our materials as well. So we have two buildings uh, next to it as
I'll
well.
take you to a better view now as you continue talking.
Okay, great. Ace is going to give a little tour up there. As I mentioned, we ship our homes all the country. We've shipped about 200 homes in the last 18 months. This is a map of where they are. Obviously, there tends to be more on the Western U.S. There's a lot more land for tiny homes on the Western U.S., although we see more and more, and this is not totally up to date. We've got a number of homes actually up in the Northeast here, growing number in Florida. Actually, some of these are overlapped. There's a couple here in Hawaii, even in Alaska. So all over the country. And I see the questions coming in. These are great questions that I'll address in just a second. Let me go through the designs because for folks who aren't familiar with some of these questions will make more
Slightly
sense.
better view here. Just
There
pointing
we
that
go.
out.
Hey, there we go. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Again, we ship homes all over the country. We ship quite a number of them. Here's some pictures. We've got a number of homes that have gone on barges and boats and craned in, as you can see over here. They usually are delivered with as you can see at the bottom there, with a large pickup truck. We can also use tractors and other things to get them into place. So we have two core models of the Clever S, or our studio model, S for studio, that I'm going to show in a second, the floor plan of, and it's on our website, a number of videos. And then we also have our Clever One, which is our very popular one bedroom unit. And we have our Clever Stay and Clever Elements, which is not fully launched yet, but I'm going to show you a little preview of that as well. We sell these both as tiny homes on wheels. And so those are certified as park model RVs. Technically, they're built very high quality, but certified as park model RVs. We also can can and do certify these to modular, which means they are state certified to be equivalent to local buildings when they are placed on a foundation. Obviously, the foundation has to be built on site, and but they're modular and built on site. And that's something that we currently do in California. So we can certify it to California building codes, which is really one of the toughest in the nation. We can do it to both on wheels and California building codes. So you have a question on that, I can talk more about that. It's kind of a big subject. But I did see someone ask that question, and I'll talk more about that in a second. But I think most of this call, we're going to talk about the tiny house on wheels. So two of our most popular models, the Clever S, which is our studio. It's 26 by 8.5, livable space there. This one's known for having a Murphy bed. So it's one of the ways, one of our design principles is creating flexibility in the space. So in kind of the default configuration, you've got a queen size bed, really big, beautiful windows here, a huge kitchen, the flex space here that can fit a couch or chairs or another table, a built-in closet, and then big kitchen, as I mentioned, the refrigerator, washer, dryer, and then the bathroom. That's gonna be a tub or a shower, and this is a full size tub or shower. This is a 30 by 60, not skimpy little one there. And when you flip the Murphy bed up, you get some built-in benches here that give you extra space. There's a number of videos on our YouTube walking through this. Also, Tiny House Tours, which is a popular YouTube channel, we can send you links, has a number of tours of people who live in the Clever S. So definitely something we can send to you as well. And definitely throw in questions. I'm just gonna, for the sake of time, and I think a lot of people have probably seen our YouTube videos, I'm gonna kind of jump through this quickly. Here is a view of the Clever S, kind of standing by the cabinet or the dresser. You can see the edge of it right on the edge here. And this is looking the other way. This is one of our customers in Desert Hot Springs who loves plants. And so you'd be surprised how much you can fit in a tiny home. How many plants he fits is very, very cool, and how much you can kind of customize this. But this is standing near the entrance doorway. You're looking down, you're seeing part of that big kitchen. The sink is behind you, and the desk and the dresser there. And one more shot of it. A few more. Built-in, we've got some cool things like little built-in charger, nightstand is the dress. People love the big vanity. There's a little built-in desk there. So lots of versatility and functionality in a pretty small space. Our other real popular model is the Clever One. This is our one bedroom model, and it has a built-in deck. We can build this without the deck too. That is an option if it doesn't fit, but a lot of folks like the built-in deck here. So this is quite a bit bigger. This is 38 feet long by 12 feet wide. You've got a living room. As you come in, there is a French doors here. And then you've got a living room here. This is enough you can put a TV. There's enough space to put a futon or a fold-out couch. You can actually sleep more people here. You then have a very large kitchen and space here, another big window, space here for more storage if you want or whatever you want to do here. You've got a big kitchen. One of the kind of hallmark feature of this is what we call the movable island. So this that I'm highlighting here is a kitchen island that moves. You can move it in and out. And the design goal there is if you want a bigger kitchen, great. You can push it out and you've got a really big kitchen that multiple people can cook in. If you don't want a big kitchen and you want more space here, you've got people over a party, you can push it in, and now you've got a lot more space here. As we move back, we have this split bathroom. What the split bathroom does is allows you to open these two doors where the dotted lines are and have a really nice big open space. This has a cathedral ceiling. It's got a beam down the center. These are 9 feet tall doors. So when you open that up, it doesn't feel like you're in any kind of small space. It just feels like you're in a really big, huge open space. But of course, you can close those off for privacy, and you've got a bathtub or shower here, and then there's also the separate toilet area, which also has a door. So there's 3 doors here with the vanity here. And as we go back, you've got the space for a queen size bed, big built-in dresser and storage area here, and washer and dryer space. So these are all available. And I see a question coming in here, and I'm going to get these questions. These are great. I'm going to answer this one that just came in right now. Yes, we can mirror. We can mirror, and we do, and we have pictures of it both ways. Someone's asking. So we can't flip it front to back because we design these with the wheels in a certain place, but we can mirror it left to right. So if you want to have everything that's here, over here, here, that's possible. Also, as you're thinking about how to position this, don't forget there are ways to move this in with tractors and stuff like that that allow it to get into pretty tight spaces. So yeah, these units can go both ways, left or right, front or back. Um, yeah, there we go. Here's some pictures of it. Of the unit there. A little bit of the kitchen. So the bathroom, the bedroom area. This does not have the bed in it, but you can see how big the cabinets are there, the dresser and storage. Okay. I'm just going to really quickly touch on some of our other models. We also have a line that we call the stay model. These are really more designed for short-term rentals. The big difference is they don't have a kitchen. They have a kitchenette, and there's no kitchen, but you get more space for a bedroom, and you can kind of a little bit slightly different layout for using in short-term rentals or hospitality. Here's some pictures. These are actually next week. We've got a whole bunch of them in. These are not going to be rendering soon. Going into a hot springs in Central Valley of California, in the foothills there, but called California Hot Springs. But here's some pictures. Kind of see what that looks like. And finally, we are launching, this is not totally public, and we will have more information on this, something we called Clever Elements. And these are pre-approved, these are not tiny homes on wheels, multi-story, single unit and duplex unit homes. 3 and 4 bedroom homes and duplexes that we've got a project at San Luis Obispo we'll be talking about soon doing this. All the same design quality, all the same production process, but there's a lot of areas where you need to go up, and this makes that possible. So definitely, if you're looking for more density going up, talk to us, bigger things. Talk to us about this, and we'll be talking more about this soon. Okay, there were some great questions. I think I'm going to go back and answer real quickly here as we talk about these. So let me quickly answer these great questions. Okay. We've got quite a lot of them. Let me try to start. Thank you. Keep them coming. This is fantastic. I'm gonna try to go in reverse order here. Someone asked about Kathleen was asking about list of tiny home. John, who's a customer of ours, joined, said, want to say thanks you. John, great. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Kathleen is asking about our list of tiny home communities, knowing what might be a good fit. Talk to us separately. I mean, I think it really starts with where do you want to be? There's some great ones in Northern California. We've got a number of our units in Tiny Tranquility, which is up in the California-Oregon border. There's a couple units in Placerville, and I just heard that there's space for 2 more there on a pretty great location. If you're not familiar, it's just west of Placerville. So that's a great location too. But let us know. We can help point you in some locations on that. Okay, going into some questions on the actual builds. And Ace, I'll try to see this something you can show of. Maybe you can, if it's possible. So, what kind of wood is used for the foundation? Pressure treated lumber. What kind of moisture protection is there? So when we're doing a tiny house on wheels, there isn't really a foundation. The foundation is the trailer. So the trailer has some big metal beams, and then the subfloor is built on top of the trailer, and it's all sealed. So it's both vapor and air sealed. When we do modular, which means they are designed to go on foundation, then at the interface between the foundation and the modular unit is pressure treated. And then obviously like with the deck where it's exterior and it's outside of the building envelope, that's built with pressure treated wood too. Um, I don't know if that I'm not sure how much that answers the what exactly the question is. But I think that the short answer is, we build these to code. So whatever the where you're supposed to put pressure treated lumber, we put pressure treated lumber, and we make sure that has a very tight building envelope. That's actually not something I talked about, but maybe I've got a picture here. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So we build these again really well. They've got a very tight building envelope, both from water protection. So all of our units have rain screens, which is an extra protection of layer against water, because tiny homes don't have big eaves, so you get a lot more water hitting the edges, or sorry, hitting the walls. And so you want to really make sure you're being thoughtful about how you're constructing and engineering those walls to maximize the safety of the walls against potential water protrusion. So we have rain screens, sail walls, very well air sealed, and as part of that, because they're all sealed, all of our homes have this that you can see there, and that is an ERV, or energy recovery ventilator. That is effectively a built-in fresh air system. So what that does is it's got two fans. One blows air in from the outside, one blows air out, and it goes through a heat exchanger, so you don't lose the cooling or heating of the home, but you constantly get fresh air. And we have that because if you keep our home closed, it's very tight, and you're going to build those CO2 levels. So, yeah, that just speaks a little bit to how we build and the kind of quality that we build at, I think. But happy to answer any more
Jonathan,
questions.
on a similar note, Andrea is asking about the energy efficiency. Don't we have some numbers from some of our customers like Lulu, just like ridiculously low energy bills? I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but
We
maybe.
do. Yeah, so Lulu, who's a customer, has done some YouTube videos with us. At our request, has been very carefully tracking how much she spends, and she's actually up in Placerville. If you're not familiar with that, it's a location in the country that gets, in August it gets hundreds, high 90s, hundreds, and then during the winter it gets down in the 30s. So it's a pretty good range, and she has and it's California. Which, for those of you not in California, you would be shocked at how much we pay for electricity here. um, and she has never spent more than $50 a month on her electrical bill. And this has two mini splits. She's keeping herself comfortable, if you know her, and she's never spent more than $50. So yeah, that's a great point. Thanks for uh, bringing that up, Asa. That I think speaks to the energy efficiency of these, and that's has to do with how air sealed it is. It has to do obviously with insulation, but the building envelope, and the ERV and a number of the other details that we do to be highly, highly efficient. Um, Great. There's a question: what materials are our flooring made of? Our floors are luxury vinyl plank flooring. So really high quality, very durable flooring. We work directly with the manufacturer, and we've made sure that the floor we do use has extensive VOC testing and is phthalate free. So we have all the test reports on that, and we make sure it's not only very good quality floor, looks really nice, but also does not have off-gassing, which is super important. Question here is, okay, so talk about how wide is your widest home? 12 feet wide. I think, Jody, hopefully that was the answer to your question. Do you offer ceiling fans in living rooms or bedrooms? We don't currently install ceiling fans. They can be tricky to transport. And as I mentioned, we have the ERV, so we have that fresh ventilation. Also, all of our rooms have big windows that are operable. So usually folks prefer the ERV operating windows. There's no reason you couldn't install a ceiling fan later if you wanted to. Not something that we do in-house, but happy to talk about that, and what you're looking for there. Are your homes come with green energy option add-on, solar, wind, geothermal? It'd be really cool to offer wind and geothermal. We don't. I don't actually know of any options for tiny houses that, but yes, solar. We do a lot of homes with solar, and we do the full solar. So solar panels to fill the entire roof, battery inverter, even a generator backup. We've done quite a lot of off-grid solar homes and on-grid solar homes. So that's a great question. Something we love to do. Um, Donna's asking, will you ever design in a model that has a contained bathroom, not a walkthrough like the current model? So our Clever S has a contained model. For the one bedroom, we don't currently. Well, we have our Clever One Lux, which kind of has a walk-through bathroom as well. We don't currently have like a separate hallway. Like we have a hallway and then you have a separate bathroom. When you have 400 square feet, hallways are a waste of space. And so what we found with the split bathroom, while a little bit non-traditional, with all the doors that we have there, you can still get the privacy of a normal bathroom, but you're not wasting that hallway space, that really precious hallway space of something that's kind of non-functional. That hallway space becomes, part of the exit to the bathroom, and so it gives you and it allows you to be much more open. So while it's a little bit of a non-traditional thing, it really maximizes those 400 square feet we have and allows the home to feel a lot bigger and feel a lot open. When folks come into our homes, they often think it's much bigger than the actual square footage, and that's a lot of because of that design element. But definitely would love to hear, Donna, what your concern is with this bathroom structure. It's not something I think a lot of folks live in our homes, and we've never really heard any complaints about that. Cool. Mark is asking, do you offer different color flooring? We don't do custom design options. That's really key to our business model, how we can keep this quality at the price points that we do, with all the things we talked about, the ERV, the air sealing, all that, the high quality flooring with low VOCs, all that kind of stuff. Key to that is our sourcing. So like the flooring, we buy it direct from the flooring manufacturer. I can tell you that the flooring that we have, you can buy for quite expensive at Floor and Decor, under a different brand. We buy direct from the manufacturer. We literally buy a shipping container full of it, and so that allows us to get the flooring that we do. But as a result, we don't have options. John is asking, can you design build to state building codes? Yes, we do. We have units in production right now being built to California building codes. We can do other states. We are working on some projects in other states. Let us know which state you're looking for. And each state does require a bit of overhead, so we tend to do it in states where there's high volume demand. For our tiny homes and wheels, it's nationwide, to be clear. Eric's asking, are the walls drywall and how do you prevent cracking when transported? By the way, I realize we got into the questions and we're supposed to be talking about financing here. So maybe what I'm going to do here is these are great questions we have. Here's what I'm going to do. We are going to answer all these questions. These are great questions. I'm going to continue the presentation because we did promise for folks joining to talk about tiny home financing. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to come back and answer all these questions. But thank you for the questions. Super, super appreciate that because they're all great questions. And we will come back and answer them. But I just realized we could go on for another hour answering questions, which we will do. But let's for folks who maybe are waiting for the financing, let's talk about that.
Just on the drywall question, just to give a sneak peek, I'm standing right next to the secret right here.
Okay. Yes. Should we? All right, so we'll come.
Just a sneak peek.
Save it. Yes, it's great. It's great. Save it, and then we'll talk more to answer that. Because we could talk forever on drywall. We have a secret. That's awesome. Okay. And some John's also saying make sure we show the factory too. Yes, we're gonna do that. Okay. Really quick because we get this often. What about utilities? When you're talking about a tiny house on wheels, there's a lot of options for utilities. Freshwater, you need to connect it to some freshwater source. That can be city water, a well, something like that, but it hooks with a hose. Electrical, it's 30 amps or 50 amp 220. As I mentioned, we do a lot of units that are off-grid solar. We can talk more about that, so you don't need to plug it in. And then wastewater is often the big one. There's a lot of options for that. I'm not going to dive into it right now, but just know there's a lot of different options that we can help you through. Okay, let's get into financing a tiny home, as I know that's why a lot of folks join, and then we're going to go and do a factory tour and answer all of these questions. And again, thank you everyone for questions and keep them coming because this is awesome. Financing a tiny home. Now, we're going to talk about financing options. But before we do that, I want to give a quick shout out to something that not a lot of people uh, know. And by the way, we had someone say they have to leave. Will this be available via YouTube? We will mail this out to every. We don't necessarily post these on YouTube's, but we will on YouTube. But we will mail this out an email to everyone who subscribed or who signed up for the webinar. So if you signed up, which I think you did, um, we will mail that out. And uh-oh, I appear to have lost. Can you still hear me here?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I appear to have temporarily lost my camera to overheating. That's not good. Um, oops. Okay. Well, I'm gonna just keep talking, Asa, and they're gonna see your pretty face for now. And then you'll do a tour. Okay, so 100%. Before we get into financing it, I want to shout this out, and we're gonna have a video we're gonna publish in the next day or two on this. Um, the one big beautiful bill, the tax bill that was passed by Congress in July, has a very cool provision for tiny homes, which is that tiny homes on wheels qualify for 100% bonus depreciation if you're using it to generate income. So if you're planning, I think 30% at the beginning of our call said they're interested in renting out the tiny home. If you're interested in renting it out, basically whether that's for Airbnb or someone who's staying long term or even to a family member, you can write off 100% of the purchase price of the tiny home against your income in immediately, basically in the year that you receive it. This, for most people, is going to save $30,000-$40,000 in taxes. And so it's a huge benefit of tiny house on wheels. The reason this applies to tiny house on wheels and not other housing is that technically it applies to vehicles and other kinds of movable personal property. Tiny house on wheels are vehicles. And so this is a big thing. If you want more information on this, shoot us an email. I'm not going to go into detail here. You need to talk to a CPA, get more details on us. We can provide more information. And do subscribe to our YouTube because we've got a long video coming out about this in the next day or two. But this is a big deal that we just want to highlight if you're not familiar about it. Okay, so how do you finance a tiny home? And I'm going to be talking mostly about tiny homes on wheels, but some of these, the first two, also apply to ADUs or units on foundation. And there are effectively three buckets of types of loans. One are loans that are home equity loans. These are loans that are going to use equity in existing property you have. We'll talk about that because there's a lot of things folks don't know about those. The other one are what are called chattel loans. 21st Mortgage is who we work with on this. This is kind of the primary way these products have been financed. And the last one is RV loans. And there's some new exciting things happening there as well that we'll talk about. But those are the three kinds, and we're going to walk through each of them. So home equity is a larger subject, and we've got some other videos on that. But the big picture we want you to take away from this is that home equity has a reputation from the past 10, 15, 20 years ago of being more kind of predatory loans, not great deals, not great value, because before they were being used primarily to kind of finance luxury items. Hey, you got this equity, like buy something cool in your home, buy something cool then. That's really, really changed even in the last couple of years. So we want to emphasize that there's a lot of new home equity products out there. The reason it's changed is because of ADUs. ADUs or accessory dwelling units in California and a few other states have made the folks doing home equity realize that there's a lot of value for homeowners and the banks and everything for putting secondary units in on your property. And so they've come up with different products to allow that. Definitely home equity has changed. Home equity or HELOCs have changed a lot in the last couple of years. And I want to highlight two kinds of that, but there's others. So just know there's a lot of creative ways to use equity in your home. One is the Home Safe second loan for 50 plus. The other one's the after improvement loan. So the Home Safe second loan, this applies for folks who are 55 plus, is a loan that uses your equity in your home, but there's no payments. You never have to repay this loan. It just uses your home equity and it grows the equity that they own of your home. But this is a great way of not having to worry about making payments and getting the equity out of your home, not losing your low interest rate, putting in a second unit, maybe renting out, maybe putting a second unit, living in the tiny home, renting out the main home, using the income from that main home to pay for your life. I mean, there's a lot of combinations here that are uh, really cool. And a number of states is available. So ask us about that. This is kind of a cool thing. And then the other one I mentioned here is the after improvement loans. A lot of folks say, oh, I have X amount of equity in my loan in my house, but it's less than the value of adding an ADU or adding a tiny home. Not true anymore. In a lot of cases, the loan can look at the value of your property after you add this unit, which in many places, not everywhere, but a lot of places, that value, the increased value of your property after you add the unit is more than the cost of adding a second unit. And so that can be a really cool financial way to put things over. So I just want to make it available that's something that has changed a lot that folks aren't aware with. These are mostly done with partners that we know. A lot of banks are still doing your traditional HELOC, so talk to us about this. Okay. The other, moving on to chattel loans. Chattel loans just means it's a home loan, but it's not against real property, meaning it's not against like physical property or a house that's built on a foundation. It's a home loan against a movable home, which obviously tiny homes and wheels are. There is also ways to do chattel homes for ADUs, which we can talk about, but they're primarily used for tiny homes. Um, what does that, what does that look like? Well, there are not a whole lot of companies that do this. The major one, the dominant almost monopoly is 21st Mortgage. We work with them. We are a licensed dealer and manufacturer with 21st Mortgage. And the nice thing about 21st Mortgage is they work across pretty much every credit and income level. It does require that the home is in a fixed location. You can move it later, but it does need to be in a legal fixed location. And this is something we can work with you on. Now, the way you apply for this, and there's a very important thing, is you apply online. And the number one thing we know is almost everyone is initially rejected. So we see this a lot. You apply, and then they send you a very nondescript "you've been rejected" letter. That is the norm. If you're not rejected on the first time, you're almost doing something wrong. But almost everyone is initially rejected. That's totally normal. We'll help you then get past it. Oftentimes, you need to increase your deposit a little bit. There's many things that go into that. And so after you apply, click on the link from our website, apply, work with us. We'll work with you and 21st to get it through. We do a lot of these loans. We delivered 3 in the last week of these homes, so we're very familiar with how they work. We're going to be upfront, the easiest company to work with. It is a big monopoly owned by Berkshire Hathaway. So they are a little old-fashioned. They're not the easiest, but we will help you with it. And you just kind of have to have a little bit of patience. And you can do a lot of different loans with these guys. So 21st is great for longer term loans. They're generally 20-25 year loans. You're looking at interest rates from often kind of 8-9% APR. They do have pretty high closing costs and some other costs. If you're looking for the lowest interest rate loan, a great option is often RV loans. These are tiny homes and wheels are technically RVs. As we mentioned, they're not built. Our homes are built nothing like RVs, but they are legally RVs, and we are legally an RV dealer. These are loans that can be 10, 15 years. There are some 20 years ones, but you're going to get lower interest rates. You're going to have no closing fees. And so if you're looking to, particularly like Airbnbs, to maximize your kind of, get a loan, but maximize your income and what you're spending, this is a good option. A lot of these are done by credit unions. A lot of the credit unions are regional. So unfortunately, we don't work. We have customers that have used credit unions all over the country. We don't have a relationship with credit unions all over the country, so you can work with your local credit union. If you're in California, we've done a number with Wheelhouse Credit Union, and we've been working closely with them to come out with a tiny home specific RV loan. And they literally just sent this to me an hour ago. But Wheelhouse has made it a lot easier to do tiny homes. They will now fund both as a primary residence, so it doesn't have to be your secondary residence, as well as that. And if for shorter loans, like 5, 6, 7 year loans, they're now down, below 6.5%, on the interest rate there. There's no closing fees. So this is a pretty good deal. This works for you. It does require a little bit better credit, and income and lower DTI, but this can be really good, particularly so if you're in California, let us know. The other nice thing about these is there's no payment for 60 days. So that also works, works really well. Okay, great. That is that is that's what we got there. Okay. And let's see if we got some questions coming in. So yeah, we're definitely gonna go in and answer questions. I'm gonna try to get my camera to work again here. Asa here, I'm gonna spotlight you. Do you want to answer the question on the drywall there, since we
Yeah,
kind of
sure.
teased that?
Yeah.
Um,
So for now. Oh, I'm not muted. Yeah, so we have this special fiberglass wallpaper here, um, which adds a lot of strength to the drywall. Also, it's super easy to clean. Um, you actually see it, funny enough, in a lot of Starbucks. If you go in and start looking for it, you'll notice it. But yeah, that really does a big job in helping prevent the drywall from cracking, and it looks really nice.
cool. Okay, and let's see here. Okay, there we go. I think I'm back. Hopefully my camera doesn't head out. All right, let's hit. So we love answering questions. This is great. I'm gonna kind of go from the top here and try to answer them as best we can. And oh, actually, someone asked. We promised a factory tour. Hey, so do you want to do a quick walk around
Yeah.
factory tour there? And then I'll try to maybe answer some questions as it comes along here. But I'll hand it over to you there. Or do you want to narrate, or I can kind of narrate over while you're
Yeah,
flipping,
we can both
holding
talk.
the
Um,
computer. This is our main production bays here. So as I mentioned, this is building number one of two buildings. This is what you see on the sides are units in various state of production. You'll notice a lot of carts everywhere. That's part of our material management system. So we have a materials team and an inventory team, and then different technical teams, and they've all got different carts. And so materials are being loaded onto carts. They're being wheeled to the unit that needs them. And then the different technical teams have their carts with their tools. There's a whole scheduling system going on. So there's a pretty complex dance that goes on every day at the factory floor, with that one of the stars of the factory just entered on screen right there. That's Neki, the factory dog slash Asa's dog there. Uh, um, but yeah, so everything's movable, so we can move it around. We do different units on the production floor, and that gives us the flexibility. And it's all being managed via a digital system, as we mentioned, of how that goes. There's iPads that are kind of hidden, but they're all over the factory. Every worker on the production floor has a tag that they're tagging in what unit and what they're working on, and we're tracking all of that. And then all the supervisors have iPads where they're seeing who's working on what. QA has iPads where they're taking pictures of everything's being done, checking, who did what. If there are QA issues, we're able to trace that back to the employee that worked on it and make sure they go through training on our way of doing things. So there's a bunch of stuff kind of going on both digitally that you can't see around everything that's moving around. What you see here is our paint booth that Asa is showing right now. So we have an industrial paint booth. That's part of our investment in technology to lower cost and increase quality. That allows us to do a number of things. One of the key things is we've got these beautiful black windows. We actually do those, or we do the finishing those windows in-house. So we're certified by Sherwin-Williams Industrial Coatings as a finishing house, and that allows us to reduce costs substantially. The other big machine you see here is our standing seam metal roof bending machine. So this allows us to bend and construct standing seam metals roofs, which are very high quality, kind of the best roofs you can get, roofs in-house. And that literally saves thousands of dollars per unit, and allows us to do these really great Sheffield metals standing seam metal roof panels. And we buy the raw metal that's certified at the end there, and then it goes through this big machine and out pops the panels for the standing seam metal roof. Um, we've got a few guys working overtime right now. Sometimes things are better to get done when it's not chaos in the factory. So in the back here is a lot of our sub-assembly areas. You see tables there where doors are built and assembled, wall segments, different different finishing things are done there. And then you can see over here a lot of our wall segments being built, the subfloors being built. So we try to streamline as much as possible a lot of the different sub-assemblies that get built in different areas off the main production floor, usually using templates. So trying to templatize everything. It gets templates, it gets built the same way, time in, time out, and then gets put into the into the units once they're done. So this is our wall assembly area. You can see the template underneath there, and then the new wall being built on top there. All right. Cool. Definitely, if there's anything anyone wants to see, drop it in. Drop it in here. Someone's asking, are the carts tracked by a computer inventory system? Yeah. We have an entire huge custom system that tracks all the material. Okay. Cool. And we're kind of back around in a circle. So that's our main building. We do have another building that's pretty much full from floor to ceiling with the materials. We have almost $2 million of materials that we keep in stock. That's there. Yeah, definitely ask any questions so we can show stuff as it's going. Okay, I'm gonna jump into some of the questions here. This is great. Thank you again for everyone who's sticking around. We're gonna keep going until we answered all the questions that come up. So definitely put in questions, and we'll try to answer them as fast as possible. Okay, this is great. Let's see. So, there's a question but our on-demand water heater, does it run on natural gas? Same questions regarding washer and dryer. The one we install runs on propane because 99% of folks do not have natural gas on the property. They're insanely efficient. One little bottle of propane, like one of those ones that you use for a barbecue, lasts, most of our customers say 2 to 3 months of full-time living. It's nothing like a barbecue. And we include a switchover valve, so you have two tanks on hand and switch it over easily. You can get a kit to convert it to natural gas. So John, happy to talk to you about that. The washer dryer is electric. Everything we do inside is electric. Question: are there plans for a rooftop deck option? That's not something we currently have plans for. You're pretty limited in terms of where you can put a home with a rooftop deck. It's something we've talked to someone who's doing kind of high volume project about. So if you're interested in, if you have a high volume project, we can definitely talk about that, but not something we currently do.
There was a question about flipping the orientation of the home so that the kitchen could be on the left or some on the right. And yeah, we can do that for any of our models, flip them around for you.
Yep. Do we do research on what is allowed, I think is what I'm trying to say, in California on private land? We can help you and point you in the right direction. If you're looking at putting a tiny house on wheels on land in California and permitting it, San Diego County is great, Placer County. The Mendocino County is great. Areas of Santa Cruz are good. Santa Cruz, the city. So there are some areas that are very tiny house on wheels friendly. We also can do it anywhere in California as modular as well. So that's something we can kind of point you in the right direction. I will say, and Catherine is saying, space rents in California are very crazy. They are, the thing to be realized is putting utilities on property is also very, very expensive. It's utilities that are often, um, the difference between a piece of land costing, a couple $100,000, and then you end up realizing you have to put $200,000 more of utilities in it. So that's not particularly fun. Our lowest,
Cindy,
yeah.
Cindy was asking about if we offer a shower, and actually there was somebody else in the questions who asked about seeing the shower, and I promised them that I would show it on the walk around, and I forgot to, so I'll walk over there as you continue talking, Jonathan.
Okay, perfect. Sounds like a plan. Um, okay. And I'll switch over to your camera when you're there. Um, okay. Someone said, what is the energy power needs for the unit? Um, John, I think we kind of answered that before. As we said, it's very good. A customer that lives in a kind of all-weather climate is spending no more than $50 a month on electrical. She lives there full time. Our lowest price is $80,000. Okay. Someone else, what do you recommend as the ideal? To rent a lot or to buy a plot of land? Again, if money wasn't an object. For rent of a lot option, what is the typical price for lot rent? If you buy a plot of land and are trying to put a tiny house on it, that is a project. So it's not so much about um, kind of what your budget is. It's much more, are you up for a project of running utilities, permitting, all of these kinds of things? It's a project and it does costly. Certainly the easiest thing is to rent space for your tiny home. That is by far the rent. Rent is usually anywhere between really depends where in the country you are, but in lower cost areas, we've seen as low as $500. In higher cost areas, as high as like $900 a month. That is. Okay, we got Asa here at
Here's
a.
our beautiful shower that looks a lot more beautiful when it's not all taped up, but you get the idea. And yeah, that comes with a beautiful glass door, frameless glass door that is not currently installed, but will be installed shortly. So I don't know if that gives you the idea of it. I can get a good angle on it, but
Yeah.
it's a
We also
shower.
have some videos and pictures, I think. And if you
Yeah.
contact us, we can send you nicer videos and pictures for sure. But you can kind of see one under construction there. Um, that's great. Okay. Okay. Maria asked, what about off-grid? Yeah, we do a lot of off-grid homes. So, off-grid has a couple components for energy, solar. And when we do solar, we're talking solar panels, battery, inverter, as well as a generator backup. And the generator backup has auto start and it recharges the battery. So we can talk more about that if there's any specific questions. And then we also do a lot of off-grid composting toilets or no flush toilets as well as an option. So you can definitely set up so all you need is fresh water. That's the key thing. The key thing there. Catherine's asking about ceiling fans. Yeah, there's easy places to connect it that we can show you on the roof. The question, no one can see the question, was about installing ceiling fans. That's a pretty easy thing to do. That you could, if you want to install a ceiling fan later on after you get it. Okay. Another question about solar. So let me go into more depth on solar since we've got a few questions. Sorry, I didn't see that. Victor's asking, how much solar wattage could you install on a Clever S and Clever One? Do you install a battery if needed? And what's the approximate pricing for these options? So yeah, let me give you what our standard off-grid solar is. This is a great question, and I'll try to look at the bottom if there's any more follow-ups on this. So our standard off-grid solar, which can be done for on-grid solar with some variation, is we fill the roof with solar panels. So for the Clever S, that is 6 solar panels. Am I remembering that right, Asa? And 9 for the,
Okay.
huh?
That sounds right to me.
Yeah, and 9 for the Clever One. Those are 500 watt panels. So 6 times 5 is 3,000 and 4,500 watt. So that's your panels. We then install a 14 kilowatt hour battery now, and a inverter. So that's kind of your base. And then we also wire the inverter to have a backup generator with an auto start. Now the generator, this is important. The generator is not designed to power the house. So if you don't have, and then we do the generator for off-grid because sometimes you have cloud cover and you just don't get enough power. But the generator is not about running continuously to power a house. The generator kicks on for a little bit, recharges the battery, and then the battery charges the house. And we use EG4 solar for the inverter and battery, very high quality, good stuff. And those are cost $15,000 for the Clever S and 16 for the Clever One, just so there's more panels on that. So yeah, that's hopefully that answers it. But ask any more questions about the solar. Very interesting topic.
Check out the question that Kirk Painter just put in there. That sounds like a really fun project for us to get in on.
Okay, hold on. I'm looking. Kirk says he's in Seattle and still daring to bring these in any place. I close on a 40 slip marina. I have a floating foundation built, but could we open a dialogue about doing 8 to 12 units? And is that enough units to rooftop get? Getting really creative here. Yeah, Kurt, let's email and set up a call afterwards. When you're talking about 8 to 10 units, we can start doing creative. Just to back up, our model is obviously production, right? So any unit we build, we have a lot of overhead in terms of we enter it all into a digital system. We make sure everything can be tracked, which means we've got to build in all the plans, all the stuff in our ERP and our system. And so, we don't do one-off customizations. But once we start talking about larger numbers, we can look at what do we have that we can then modify to get to what you're trying to do. And we have, there's a private island up in the Washington Puget Sound area that has a fairly good number of our units that we did some custom stuff for. Yeah, so definitely, Kurt, let's make sure we connect on that. Okay. That's pretty cool. Going on, John Ware's asking, because you are building in California, do you homes have a fire rating knowledge unit? Yes. So we do a lot of stuff with fire rating. We can do both WUI, which is kind of the standard California wilderness urban interface. We also do wildfire prepared, which is the standard that a lot of insurance companies are using. We have a unit, I guess you can't really see it right now, that's being done and it doesn't really change how we do it, to be perfectly honest. But that one in particular has to have wildfire prepared. So it's something we're very familiar with. Definitely have to talk to you about. Fires are a big deal. But the key thing is let's talk about what involved in making something fireproof. Oh, we're also doing ones for Altadena as well. So what makes a really good fireproof building? And we obviously do that because we build high quality. First of all, the roof. The best roof you can have is a metal roof. Embers land on the roof, it's metal. Nothing happens. So we have a standing seam metal roof. Standing seam, meaning that all the fasteners are hidden. So you're not going to have fire hitting the roof, embers hitting, burning through the gaskets and then getting in. It's completely hidden. So that's good for water and fire. So standing seam metal roof, that's number one. Number two is the siding. We use Hardy board, fiber cement siding, which is a Class A fire rated product. It's basically cement. So you've got metal and cement, two things that do not burn. That's key. Next one is unvented attics. So if you saw what happened in we're doing a lot of work there in LA with the big horrible fires there. It wasn't so much that these fires were spreading from house to house. It was that the embers were spreading and then they'd go into the attic space because of the vents and then catch on fire, and now you have another house on fire, and that would kind of leapfrog and spread, and that was kind of the spread of the fire. All these units don't have any are unvented attics, and so it's all totally sealed. And where we do have vents, it's as fireproof vents for plumbing and ventilation. It's all mesh. So yes, fire is a big deal. It's something we spend.
On a related note, Mark Hall is asking how the homes are insured as a vehicle or as a home. So they're insured as an RV or as a vehicle, and it's pretty affordable from what I hear from most of our customers.
Yeah, and we have some agents connected to it. That's if you do a tiny house on wheels. We also do on foundation. Then it's just a home when it's on foundation, for sure. Um, okay. Sorry, we're trying to do these in order, but also kind of skipping around what makes sense. Um, I think we answered the energy one. John, let us know if we didn't answer the energy one, for sure. Um, Kathleen. Oh, thank you, Catherine Nelson. Helped Kathleen was talking at 1,000 at the low end for space rent. I will say we've seen ones for less than that in California. Um, Including I know in the one I mentioned in Placerville is less than that. But again, then you talk about utilities and stuff like that. So thank you for jumping in and answering that. Unfortunately, space and utilities are very expensive these days. Um, John is one of our customers. Thank you so much, John. He's getting his Clever One in early November. And John, yeah, check out our YouTube. I'll send you that about the big beautiful bill, the bonus appreciation. Kathleen says, have you considered real wood flooring or some form of non-vinyl optional as your standard? We really haven't. The luxury vinyl plank flooring, I think, is becoming kind of the standard for uh, affordable quality flooring. They're very durable. They look great. It does not look like vinyl. I don't know if you can get a good shot of it, Asa, somewhere, but it really looks very, very good. It's very durable. It's very low, VOC off-gassing. Wood floors have wood floor has some a lot of downsides. So it's probably not something we're gonna go off of. John and okay, I was saying, would someone be able to add a new EG4 hybrid solar mini splits? John. So for anyone who doesn't know, EG4, which makes really good solar equipment, I think recently came out with a mini split unit that connects directly to the solar instead of through the inverter, which is pretty cool. I am familiar with that. We could definitely talk about that. It is something I think you could add. It's quite expensive. So compared to your standard mini splits that we use, it's a lot more expensive, so it's not something we've really considered doing as a standard because most of our customers have said not worth it. But definitely something I'm happy to talk to you about because I do think it's pretty cool technology, if not a little on the pricey side. Do our come with warranties? Yes. The home comes with warranties and two kinds. One, we're talking a lot about the quality materials you use. That's part of the warranties. Hardy panel siding, the standing seam metal roof, the windows, the California double pane windows. Those all have very good warranties that they come with. And then we have a standard warranty as well. It's a 1 year kind of build warranty as well. So it's not just about the warranty from us, but it's also the warranty of the materials that we're using. That's a very important part of it into what we go on. Right. So you got a subfloor panel there.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, Vic.
Lighting and everything.
Yeah, it's kind of hard on camera.
Yeah,
but it really looks really nice. It's got a little bit of texture. It's hard to from far away you can't tell it's not wood. And then it's got, if you show the back, it's got the kind of padding, so it feels nice on it. It's a really very good product. Kurt was saying, is there room for a Blackwater tank underneath? Yes. So we don't install a Blackwater tank because that would be in the structure. But a lot of our customers, that's exactly what they do off grid, is once it's in place, you can put a giant Blackwater tank basically underneath it. That is kind of our recommended way of doing it if you need to have Blackwater. We also, in all of our designs, split the black and gray. So for those who don't know, Blackwater is the toilet water, gray is your other water, sink and shower. And so in an off-grid situation, often what folks will do is put the Blackwater into a tank and use just the toilet and then have a truck come out every couple months to empty that tank and then run the gray water onto the land. There's ways to filter the gray water. You can use organic soaps. There's various ways to do that in an environmentally friendly way, but that's kind of how we often do black, and gray, and that's a very common thing. John said Nissan Tech Out. I think that's because of my camera overheating. I think I've got it. We'll see if it overheats again. This is not my normal setup, but thank you for that. Okay. Do you have any videos on YouTube of the White House? I haven't found any. Yes, we have quite a few. It's called The Clever One. It's both on our YouTube channel. Other YouTube channels have them too. If you shoot us an email, Jody, or we'll make a note and we'll shoot you an email and we'll give you some links to the walkthrough of that. We have quite a few of that. Terry's asking, can we get more information on the multifamily units? Yes. Contact us and we'll talk to you. It's not something we're putting on our website right now. We're primarily selling it to developers and investors. Yeah, reach out and we'll talk to you about that for sure. John, I answered this question already. Okay, Angela is asking, and please keep the questions coming for sure. Angela's asking, we're a family of 4. Your tiny home spacious enough for us? Also, do they come with patios, decks, etc.? Do you ship to Dallas, Texas, or surrounding suburbs? So I think Angela maybe missed the beginning of our webinar, which is awesome, and we will resend it to you. We do have models with decks and patios. We ship all over the country, so Dallas is not a problem. Are they spacious enough for a family of 4? Our Clever One could be. It's really kind of up to how you do. We have a family, I think, of 4, maybe more in not Dallas, but elsewhere in Central Texas, who has 2 of our units. So they made a little compound with a Clever One and a Clever S. And so that's a really cool way that they can have both privacy, multiple bedrooms, but also be really efficient. So that's a kind of cool configuration that we've seen when folks are trying to have more space, where you can, our Clever S, we can take out the kitchen. So you have the Clever One, what you see here with the kitchen, you got a living room, you got a bedroom and bathroom back, and then the Clever One is kind of like your master bedroom. So we take out the kitchen, and so you have a bedroom, nice big size bedroom, maybe a little storage work area, and then another bathroom. So that's a cool configuration to do as well. Great. Angela's asking, what is the typical cost of a tiny home? So the costs are transparent on our website. The Clever S is $79,995. The Clever One is $129,995. That includes free or discounted shipping nationwide, and pretty much everything that you see. Is there discounts for 2? Yes, there is also, we're going to announce this at the end, a discount for attending this webinar. So we have $4,000 off if you buy within the week of attending our webinar. So if you're interested, definitely get in contact and let us know. So hopefully she's still on the webinar. Okay, awesome. John says, you do wiring for in-house for the units. Can the units be pre-wired for tech, smart home tech? We do wire the units in-house for sure. I mean, most of the smart home stuff now is done wirelessly. So I'm not sure what wiring. We can do Ethernet wiring to get like internet into the unit. And then I know we have someone who's done a number of units with like a lot of smart stuff, but I think he basically put a hub where the Ethernet came in, and then he had wireless stuff. So we can talk more about what you're talking about, what you want to look at doing there. Brent Murphy asks, what are your financing options? We'll send you, Brent, a recording of this to kind of to go over this. I think I'm gonna answer other questions at the end. We can kind of come back and recap that for folks who missed it. I think I answered the warranty question. Someone asked about warranties. We already answered that. How high are the ceilings? How high do you say the ceilings are? Well, we know they're basically between 9 and 10 feet, the ceilings. You can see it slopes up. So we really try to have nice, tall, high ceilings, as you can see. Someone asked, do you offer any financing options? Yes, and that was actually, we covered that pretty extensively earlier in the webinar. So we'll go ahead and send that.
You want to just go through the brief, just like...
Yeah, why don't we do it at the end? Let me answer these other questions, and then we do it at the end. Because it seems to, great, happy to answer that. Do you use ICF concrete for walls, roofs, etc.? No, we do traditional stick framing. ICF really doesn't work for tiny homes because it's cement and very, very, very heavy, and also not the most cost effective. So we do stick framing with hardy panel siding, so really high quality sidings, high quality roofs. Uh, uh, okay, Catherine, thank you, Catherine, jumping in. Was talking about the Pollock Pines, which is Placerville. It's $700 for the lot, but that doesn't include a lot of things. So you are up to about 1,000. Mark says, do you have a tool on your website to get individual wall measurements? No, but we can send you plans. So if you reach out to us, we can send you, just what are you looking for, and we can send you plans because we obviously have plans of everything. We're happy to send that. Okay. John Ray says, how have you built any small communities with your units? A million ton has been used in making a small village as part of design of Freedom Cities Project City. I'm not sure what Freedom Cities are. Do you know what that is, Asa?
No, I'm not familiar.
Would love to learn. Yes, I mean we are working with folks on different communities with different configurations. So John, definitely reach out and we can chat about how to put that together and uh what you're referring to. Someone's saying this is MAGA probably. Okay, I don't know what that is, but definitely happy to talk if it's serious. Uh I think Frank saying make sure his existing customer, make sure we take that's off. I mean that I should add the caveat that was if there's no other discounts. I think Frank you were part of another promo we did. So that's this promo. It's not in addition to our other promos, but definitely happy to make sure we look at that for sure. I maybe should have articulated that more clearly. Okay. So some of the question is do you financing? So we have a number of financing customers, and I can jump back to that. Throw it if there's any other questions. Great. And I know we've gone a little bit over it. Thank you everyone for joining. But just to recap for folks who joined late. So there's three main kinds of financing. There's home equity financing. I'll get out of the way of there we go, of that. There's chattel loans, 21st Mortgage does those in RV loans. And home equity is using existing equity and property that you have. There's a number of different ways to do this, different combinations that we can talk to you about. If you're over 50 or 55, this is a typo here, there is some really cool loans available to you where you don't have to pay anything or pay it back. There's also ones that use the increased value of a property. So there's a lot of new loans in this category that have recently come out that you may not be familiar with and that not all lenders do, but we work with those who do. So definitely talk to us about that. 21st Mortgage is a very popular tiny home lending massive company, and they will lend against most credit scores, most income levels. The one thing is you do need a place to put the home that is legal. We are approved with them. You can apply through our website. Be prepared that you get rejected. Usually the first time you apply. That's the norm, not the exception. So you'll get rejected, and then we'll help you walk through that. And they work across most credit scores. 8-9% is generally what we're seeing in terms of credits or interest there. And then RV loans are another one. You can work with local credit unions. In California, we work a lot with Wheelhouse Credit Union. They have a tiny home specific product that they just came out with that can be for shorter loans, can be as low as under 6.5%. The difference here is, 21st does longer loans. You're looking at like 25 years. Here is really your best value, but it's a little bit of a shorter loan where you're looking at 10, 15 years. So hopefully that kind of answers a little bit more that question. Someone's asking, can I go back to the RV loan slide? Yes, let me do that. And we can put you in contact with Josh. I talk to him all the time about this. Okay, great. We got some more questions, which is fantastic. Will a king size bed fit? In our Clever one, yes, you can fit a king size bed. You won't be able to walk all the way around it. So you'll have access to it on two sides basically, but it'll fit. And I know people have put a queen size bed. What is the typical build time for a Clever One? It's about 3 months. If I were to start and complete financing, what is the time? Oops, we closed that one. So I think that answered it. And Susan was asking us to go back to the RV loan slide, which I think we just did. Uh, uh, cool. So we're here. Okay. And definitely we can put you in contact for anyone there. Cool. If there's no more questions, I think we can maybe wrap this up. I'll stay online for one more minute here. We love answering questions. Definitely, definitely. Shoot us, let us know if there's any other questions here. Okay, hey, we got another one. Is there a pantry? There is a lot of cabinets. I don't know if there's a in our homes, and we're talking here about, let me go to the floor plans here. So in our Clever One, which is our one bedroom, there is cabinets here, all throughout, overhead cabinets here, and then there's space here that you can put a pantry if you wanted to. So some people want to, some people find this enough storage. And there's both overhead cabinets as well as in under countertop cabinets. And then in our Clever S, you can see here a lot of the cabinets. There you go. You can get a view of the Clever S, all the cabinets there and there as part of the kitchen. So big kitchen with both your wall mounted and below cabinet, or below, excuse me, countertop cabinets. Okay, Kathleen's saying, I got here late. Can you show this again?
Take it from the top, Jonathan.
Huh?
From the top.
From the top. Kathleen, happy to. Can you mention which part you'd like to see again, maybe? And we could do that. We'll also send you a link to this.
We are going to have a recording of this that we can email.
Are the units pet friendly? We have a lot of people with pets in our units, so I think yes.
We have people in doggy doors, cat doors.
Yeah.
Lots of animals enjoying our units.
Yeah. Kathleen, which part are you interested in? This is our floor plans, and then I'm happy to talk about other areas too. I can kind of quickly go. I'll tell you what, I'll quickly run back through the slides for everyone who joined late. Let's do that. Well, if there's any other questions, otherwise, what we're gonna do is if you join from the beginning,
a lot of people online.
Yeah, if you join from the beginning, thank you. If not, I'm gonna go back through what we did at the beginning, because I know people are busy in the afternoons. And we'll go back there. I think that sounds like a good plan. Okay, hey, we got another. Okay, here's another question: is the base frame powder coated? The trailer's not powder coated. It's painted. It's painted with a very thick, strong paint design for this. Powder coating is not really the best solution for this kind of application. We actually have a YouTube video at the Trailer Factory that talks about exactly this. So, Maria, if you check out our quality build series, definitely check that out.
And very little of the trailer is actually exposed as well.
That's true too.
When it's built.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. So because we had a few folks join late, and Eartha, I'll answer this now. I'm going to run back through the presentation we did at the top, which is great. If you didn't, this might be a little repetitive. You're welcome to stick around. If not, thank you so much for joining. And please reach out to us with any questions. You know what? Here's what we're going to do. Maybe Asa, can you answer that question on the concrete pillar? I'm going to get some more water, and then I'll come back and go through the presentation. Okay.
Yeah, we have had some customers put the tiny homes on wheels on concrete pillars. You don't have to, but you can. And the tiny homes on foundations, those go on a concrete stem wall. question about new models coming soon. Yeah, there are, and that you'll see that soon in the presentation Jonathan's about to show.
Okay. Great. So we're gonna walk back through. I'm gonna kind of do an abbreviated version of this, but thank you everyone who's sticking around. We love talking about this. Uh, Johnson, he's got to go. Can you send an email to us with contact information, web links? Yeah, John, we will. Clevertinyhomes.com, but we'll make sure we reach out. Okay. So, the quick agenda of this is kind of company overview and financing methods. We can do a um, factory tour on this, and we're going to jump in as folks ask more questions here. So we'll kind of jump back and forth. Susan said, "My situation." Okay. Victor saying, "How can I certify putting an RV version onto foundation in California?" You cannot. Is the short answer of that. There are certain places in California that allows RV certified tiny homes to be permitted as an ADU or as a primary residence. San Diego County is the big one. They just passed that. Placer County, Mendocino County, Nevada County. Those are areas that you can. In other areas, you can do it as ADUs. LA City allows that. Santa Cruz, a number of others. But in the rest of California, if it's not that, it has to be modular certified, which we also do. But you can't. It's a different certification process in the factory. But to go back to this, so Clever Tiny Homes, our mission is to build the highest quality designer tiny homes for less. Yeah, Susan just jumped in. Fresno County allows them as ADUs, tiny homes. Um, uh, how do we do this? We do this through three core principles. One is we focus extensively on product design and engineering. So we don't do a lot of models. We don't do a lot of customizations. What we do is something that allows us to kind of do it over and over again and really optimize how we do it. So that's a lot of folks. I'm gonna move myself to the other side here. Or up there. There we go. Uh, we also focus on streamlined manufacturing and sourcing. We can walk around the factory again and show that. And a deep investment in technology and equipment. We talked about we build our own software system that runs our factory so we can track everything and figure out how to optimize it. And so that's really our focus is on how to do very high quality construction and make it as efficient as possible. As part of that, we don't do good, better, best or anything like that. Our homes come with the best quality materials. That's it. We just do one set of options that is very well done. A couple landmarks of our home is our kitchen. We've got really big, beautiful kitchens. Here's some pictures of them here. We have, here's some more pictures of the kitchens. Really big, beautiful bathrooms with real tiled, mold-resistant epoxy grout, big vanities, full-size showers or bath, and so on and so forth. And I'm just going to jump, sorry, to some of these questions here. Thank you everyone for us being a little bit jump back and forth, but I want to make sure folks who are with us the whole time we answer your questions, and folks who just joined, we're going back through this. So thank you for your patience. Kurt Painter, Kurt, we've noted we've got a note to your name, and we'll make sure to reach out to us. Or if you want to shoot us if you got a better email than what you registered the webinar of, just shoot us an email, hello@clevertinyhomes.com. Mention the Seattle project, and I'll give you a call tomorrow. And Victor's asking, is our modular version more expensive? A little bit. I'll show you that in a second. To go back, I'm going to show a slide here, Victor. Our team on the call right here is Ace and I. We're two of the partners. Our third partner, Dee, who doesn't like to be in camera so much, is really the design genius behind this. She previously ran a top global architecture and design firm, and you can see some of the incredible projects that she's done over there. I'm just moving myself around here. That she's done at the bottom there, and that's a lot of what we're doing is bringing this kind of real high quality, high end design into tiny homes. We have a 150-person team that covers both the factory, experienced leaders in all areas of the factory. Got decades and decades and decades and decades of construction experience on the team, architecture team, kind of across everything that we do. And here's a view of some of that. We ship homes all over the country. So I think there's some questions around there. Literally all over the country, including Alaska and Hawaii. Number of units in Hawaii. Obviously more on the West Coast. There tends to be more land on the West Coast. You see more tiny homes on the West Coast, but a growing number in Florida and in the Northeast there. Just some pictures of homes being shipped all over. We have homes that have gone on barges quite a lot, on ships, get craned in. Usually they're transported with a large pickup truck. That's how we transport them. So this is kind of there. So this is the tiny house on wheel versions, our Clever S or Studio and our Clever one bedroom prices. And then modular with California certification does cost more because it is more expensive to do that certification for us, quite a bit more. And there's some California specific things we have to do. So that's the cost of it certified to California building codes. If you're in another state, we can talk about that. And then, when you're doing it as an ADU, there's a lot of site work that has to happen. A lot. It's not just doing a foundation, but you've got to run all the utilities, trench them, permit them, things like that. And so we also work with partners who do that, and this tends to be your all-in ADU cost. So this is Clever S, our studio model. So this is 8.5 feet wide by 26. This is kind of your tiny home, if you will, standard tiny home. There's a Murphy bed, kind of a hallmark of this, so it allows that flexibility of the space. So a queen size Murphy bed that you can put in there that folds up into some nice built-in benches. There next to that, you've got a closet. Across the back here, you have a huge kitchen. So there's a 16-foot long quartz countertop kitchen with built-in cooktop and a huge sink there. Across from that, we have our flex space, so you can put a chairs there, a couch there, all kinds of stuff there. And then we have a refrigerator, washer, dryer, and then a nice big bathroom. This is a 30 by 60 shower or bathtub and a huge vanity. Just to show you some pictures of that. This is standing right by the closet there, looking towards the bathroom. So you can see that part of that big vanity there and the huge countertop here in the kitchen. Here's another view of a different customer's home who loves plants, which is amazing. This is standing by the sink or the entry door and looking down towards the Murphy bed is up there, right there. And you can see the closet there. Here's kind of looking by the induction cooktop towards the bed being down. Here's some more detailed views. You can see the vanity there, part of the medicine cabinet. You can see the built-in desk right here. We have a little built-in charging station for a nightstand, basically. So some more details. And then here's our Clever One. So this is our one bedroom. This has starting from the front, has a deck. This is optional. A porch here. Coming in, there's a big French doors. You come into a living room that has enough space for a fold-out couch or futon. Put a TV here. You got our kitchen with a movable island. So this island moves left and right, or you can move it anywhere. That allows you to have a bigger kitchen if you want a lot of people cooking, or a smaller one if you want more space here. We then move back to the split bathroom. This allows, there's doors here, here, here. This allows you to have big open space if you want, or shut it off and have a kind of separate bedroom and bathroom here. So it's really flexible in its configuration. And then you've got the closet here. So there's a look at what the Clever One looks like from the entrance. And here you have kind of looking across the kitchen. There's the movable island there, just a built-in charger, the sink. Here's looking, standing at the entrance to the split bathroom here, so you can see that. And then this is the bedroom without a bed in it. Big built-in closet space here. That's our ERV, our fresh air system. This is space for a washer dryer. Here's the bed in it. So that's the Clever One and Clever S. We have a couple models that are designed for short-term rental or short-term stay. The basic difference is these don't have a kitchen. And so just some views of those. A little kitchenette. And then we're introducing our elements. These are larger units that are really designed, well, I mean, they're designed for multi-story that you can see here. We've got some projects of these. So this is interesting. Reach out, or these can be 1,200, 2,400 square feet homes. Let's get that. And then, yeah, to talk about financing, one thing we mentioned that a lot of people don't realize is that with the new One Big Beautiful Bill, this is tiny homes now qualify for bonus depreciation. We got a YouTube video coming out about that in the next couple of days. But this is a big deal if you are not using the home as a primary residence, but you're renting it out. Whether that's short term or long term, a huge tax benefit that you definitely want to get on, so we can provide you more information about that. And this just came about in July. So then in terms of financing, there's three main buckets. There's home equity loans, as I mentioned, chattel loans, and RV loans. I think I kind of went through these already, but just to go through real fast, home equity is not, it's not your parents' home equity loans anymore. There's a lot of new home equity lines of credit that are available that are much more friendly, much more flexible in how it works, really designed around putting ADUs or second units in place. So talk to us about that because you can do a lot more than folks think nowadays with home equity financing, a lot more than folks think, which is super cool. On the 21st mortgage side, this is chattel loans. This is the big tiny home manufactured housing lender. These they work across most credit scores, income levels, pretty flexible how it works. It is a little bit of a pain to execute on. It's a little bit expensive in terms of interest rates, but this is a very popular to go. We do a lot of homes with 21st mortgage, and we can walk you through that. The process starts by applying online. There's a link on our website. We are an approved dealer and manufacturer with them. And the key thing we say is know that when you apply online, you're almost certainly going to get rejected the first time. Reach out to us, and then we'll work with you to work with them to get approved. I don't know why they set it up that way, but it's just kind of set up that people apply, they get rejected, and then you kind of got to work on it to get it approved. You're going to get approved in most situations, but just be aware of that. And the last one is RV loans. These you can get from local credit unions. We've been working with a California-based one to come up with some new tiny home RV loans. These are great, particularly if you're willing to pay a little bit more per month. 21st mortgage loans are 20 to 25-year loans. These can be 10, 15-year loans, but with much lower interest rates, which is what's really exciting. And that was a quick recap. Hopefully that was helpful. Let's see if there's any other questions that have come up. I think I've answered the ones that were here. So if not, Asa, do you see any more? Did we get to anyone? If we missed some, let us know.
I think we got them all, unless there's
okay.
Have any...
And we've got 19 folks sticking around. Well, thank you for everyone who stuck to the end. We appreciate your time. Look, we're here to talk about this stuff. So shoot us an email, give us a call. We can schedule an appointment. We're here to chat about it. We like talking about it. We like trying to figure it out. We try to be transparent about how we do everything. Look forward to hearing from you, and thanks for spending your evening with us. We really appreciate it. All right, take care. Bye.